This is Mark from Head PE, and you're watching and listening to RAMzine.co.uk. And this sexy beast is Jackson.
Hi, I'm sexy, I think.
So, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Well, it's Halloween tonight. Are you guys thinking of dressing up at all?
Absolutely not.
No?
We got to get off stage here, jump in a van, drive into London, play a show at 2 a.m. So we're going in costume as 4 really tired, broke musicians. That's our Halloween outfit for the night.
Figured if we're going to dress up, it might as well be a theme.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all going as pretty much the same person.
That's good. Keeping it all together.
Keeping it real, as they say.
Yeah. But lots of people ask, what does the PE in Head PE stand for?
Planetary evolution. You know, it came out of a song on our first album. It was a theme. Planetary evolution was the lyrics in a song called 33. But we were really just Head before that, but the record label would not allow us to keep just Head. They said it was going to be copyright infringement with a clothing company and some long hair metal band from the 80s. So they wanted to add something to it, and originally they were like, make it Head OC for Orange County, where we're from, which just sounded ridiculous. So we turned it to Head Planet Earth because it was a little more global. And then Planetary Evolution, it's interchangeable.
That's interesting.
Does that answer your question in enough detail?
Yep, that's good.
Because I get really long-winded.
That's all good. Well, moving on. Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, are they aliens or are they just relatives?
Today, it's a matter of opinion, I suppose.
Yeah, well, there's 100 billion stars in our galaxy alone. It would be pretty arrogant to think we're the only ones here. What do you think?
A little part of me at the back of my mind believes they exist.
And what do you think?
Oh, I mean, just mathematically speaking, the chances are they have to exist, and most likely they are among us. Who knows? I've even entertained the thought that I could even have certain lineage that stems back to ancient civilizations. I mean, there's so much that goes on that we're not being told that, to me, I mean, don't really, rule anything out. Like as Mark says, I mean, look at how many stars. I mean, space is infinite. To think that we're the only ones out there, I mean, really, I just don't see any logic behind it.
Yeah, did you see the recent video that got released from Area 51?
I did not.
There's many videos from there,
A
right?
scientist that passed away recently just sort of did a leak on Area 51 and released loads of photographs
Oh wow.
of some pictures of some aliens.
Right.
Sure, and the timing's interesting if you think that right after the first atomic bombs went off, all the sightings and visitation started, because really we're like the new kids on the block playing with toys that we shouldn't be playing with, and there's older kids who are concerned with what we're doing, so maybe that's why they're visiting. On a slightly related note, there's many tribes around the world, like I believe the Dogon tribe in Africa say they're from Sirius, or their ancestry is. There are many Native American tribes say they're from the Pleiades. And there's ancient histories of Earth races, the Lemurians, and various Polynesian races say that they were from the star system. Some they say they were from Mars, before Mars had its atmosphere destroyed.
Showing how I got onto the subject of aliens after we were talking about planet Earth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know a couple people that maybe have had anal probes too by the aliens, but they don't want to talk about it.
No, I don't think I would if I had that happen.
No, I keep it to myself too.
I would tell everybody, honestly, if it happened to me. I would
Share your
probably I'd
experiences.
post it on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff for sure.
When was your last?
Oh man, I think it was actually just a few weeks ago. I was late for bus call. I didn't.
You were.
Sorry
You sure it was an alien?
Yeah, no. Actually, come to think of it, I think I want to cry now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Other than
Moving on
aliens,
from the anal probe stories.
aliens, yeah. You recently released Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
We feel, as fans, as well as what we're doing here, that it's progressed a lot since Broke. What are your opinions on that?
Well, let him answer, because in the Broke days he was a fan, so he saw that from a perspective we didn't get. And then by evolution, Jackson wrote all the metal on that album, so he's responsible pretty much for the growth of the band in terms of the heavy metal side or the rock side and the music side in general. So what do you think about that?
But what was that main part of the question again? I was still kind of caught up in the last question. We got into anal probes, and now I'm just like, oh
Kind of
god,
threw you off
I'm just
thinking
I'm totally wishing we'd edit that last part out. Jeez,
Come on, we can move
what an
on from
idiot.
that. We can move on.
Damn it. Okay, so I'm sorry. What was the specific question?
Well, it was just how do you feel that you've progressed since Broke as a band?
Oh, right. Well, I think the band was already moving in a different direction anyway, and by the time I had joined, Jared already had a collection of songs ready to go, and he knew he wanted to move forward with it, but he didn't know what name to attach to it, whether it was going to be Head PE or something else. And when I jumped aboard, they hadn't put out the record only in America yet, and the last release was Blackout. So I just wanted to do my best to kind of let them know that, hey, I can write stuff. Check out the music if you like it. Use it. If not, that's cool too. But I pretty much just wanted to provide as much as I possibly could. Really, it really is, and I try my best. Just from that point forward, it's always been a situation where I'd always have material ready to go, and I just by the time it was time to get together and put stuff together, I just always had material ready. So I would just send it to Jared, and he'd go through some of the stuff he liked, and do some rearrangement and stuff like that. So and then it just went from there. But I think it's gone in a natural progression. We don't put. There's a certain formula involved with the Head PE sound, but at the same time, we're so lucky that we do so many different things. We do have a kind of carte blanche to kind
The
of
spherical objects are a lot larger since Evolution in particular, but the last few albums, Truth Rising was a lot. I hate to use the word heavy. It reminds me of Spinal Tap and all those bands, but we have definitely got more girth since Jackson came along because he brought a metal side to us that wasn't in the band before. I love it. It's great for me to play.
We feel that Head PE's genre is just a mashup of all different genres involving all of your styles. Did you feel that was a risk when you first came about, when you were starting the band?
Well, I'll give credit to our guitarist who's not here for the original concept, because we were all in LA in different bands, and Jared and I had a band, and Wes, our old guitarist, had a different band. We jammed with their band, played a lot of live shows, and our bands just collapsed. Can I swear? They were all of shit status. So we started talking, and Wes had this great idea. It was right when Korn was coming out in '93, '94, and they were out of town. And also Dr. Dre had dropped The Chronic, and Snoop's first album came out, and Wes said, heavy guitars like Korn, drop down the low tuning with hip-hop beats. And I was like, what a concept, and there was quite a few other bands doing it. I remember one cliche going around about how many bands get it wrong because they try to funk the rock, whereas you should rock the funk, and I never really fully understood what it meant, but it just meant be authentic in your beats and add those heavy guitars, and we took it from there. And over the years we explored every other style, really.
Head PE, definitely one of the most original artists I've ever came across, though, being a rock and metal fan myself.
Yeah.
I listen to it, and it's just so different every single album you've ever released, but it all has that same vibe to it.
It can be a double-edged sword, Sometimes people try to pigeonhole us, and they don't know how to. Some people don't know what the hell we are, but that's okay with us.
So what do you feel about some of the new subgenres that are out now with the whole metal and rock music collaborating with dubstep and electronic?
Let the youthful man answer that one.
Well, I am familiar with some bands that have been doing that. It seems like it's kind of been going on for the past few years, so I wouldn't really, at this point, call it cutting edge. But I think it's really just a continuation of just kind of the same willingness to keep in tune with your creativity and mix styles together, just like we were talking about the idea of taking heavy guitars and adding them over like Dr. Dre type beats. I think that comes from the same place of willing to experiment, and there's a certain risk factor involved with that. But I mean, love it or hate it, what the kids are doing now, I mean, they're loving it, and if it works for them, that's great. I know Korn stepped into that a few years back. They tried a little bit of that too.
Collaborated with Skrillex.
Sure, absolutely, and it's just like anything, really. I mean, it's just keeping the creation, the creativity alive, and just trying new things. That's really I think that's really the key, keeping the whole thing going. But a lot of the bands, yeah, it is. But there's a lot of, there's so much going on too. Not just that. There's a lot of these bands that are going back to the kind of retro, just kind of straight up rock and roll, heavy metal, dual guitar, stuff like that. Just kind of doing things that have already been established and using that formula that's proven to work time and time again. It's kind of a similar theory that we used on this record. We kind of went even before that. We tried to go back to like the classics like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, kind of incorporate elements like that we all love so much. But sort of like the heroes of our heroes, like in a way, you know what I mean? And just kind of putting some of that classic feel on there. So it's really just a continuation of the same thing. That's the way I see it.
Which sums up evolution. Take something that was and keep evolving it.
There's nothing new under the sun, I guess, as they say. Although certain things can break through, somebody can hit it the right way and it just explodes. Just like Korn did. You know what I mean? They took something, when you analyze it in retrospect, certain elements can kind of seem like they sound like this previous band or sound like this previous band. But it's the way they put it together that really sets them apart from other bands of their time.
So I know it's not been long since you've released Evolution, but do you have any new music that you're writing at the moment for anything in the future?
Jackson is permanently writing music. He farts good music out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, but we always have music that he can pull out, and Jared has a lot of ideas all the time. We're going to explore a little more reggae music in the future, maybe a reggae project called maybe Dread PE or something. Who knows? We all have a love of reggae, and we've combined it with a lot of the more rock music. We may explore that in the future too.
Do you guys?
We'll just keep going. I mean, we got nothing else to do really.
It's true.
Onwards and upwards.
Hopefully, yeah.
Do you guys plan to play any UK festivals at all? Because I haven't seen.
It's not
you
really
guys
if
on
we
the bill.
plan it. It's whether we get invited.
Would you like
there's a lot
to?
of course.
Yeah, it'd be
we
great.
back in our major label days, we had a string 1 or 2 years of doing all the big festivals. Back then, we did Reading. Here we did. The pinnacle was Wembley Stadium, to like 50, 60,000 people. But we haven't done those since, because there's a lot of politics involved in that. There's a lot of money, and we're not on a major label with some guy throwing $10,000 to get on a bill. 10,000 quid, sorry. So we'd love to. If we get invited, we'll for sure do it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see you guys there.
Sure
It
would.
would be great. It would be great.
I know a lot of people that are fans of Head PE,
Yeah.
and they're going to be in the room tonight. So
Yeah, we have another show tonight. Did you know that?
yeah, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, 2 a.m. It's great, yeah.